Okay, so on the last video of Stranger Things Expanded Universe books, I talked to you about the adult novels, and this time I'm very excited to talk to you about the young adult novels. And to be honest, I think the young adult novels have caught on a little bit better than the adult novels. So the first young adult novel that came out was this book here called Runaway Max, and this book came after season two. I say it came after season two. The content of it actually is during season two. Essentially, what this book is it's the story of season two from Max's perspective. But what we do get is a little bit more background into her relationship with her brother Billy, her mother, her stepfather, and where they came from before this. So let me tell you a little bit about this book. Runaway Max by Brenna Yovanoff. Obviously, in a Stranger Things novel. On the back, it says, "Who is Max Mayfield?" It felt like I'd spent my whole life thinking about how things worked, figuring out the rules for locks and people, memorizing my escape routes. Billy'd never been a problem that was solvable. He was just something I had to live through. Tonight, though, I was done with monsters. And I think that probably brings to mind a specific scene that happens in season two. Here's what the inside dust flap says. Before she became the Zoomer, before the strangest night of her life, before Hawkins and the Upside Down, Max Mayfield doesn't fit in. She isn't soft or frilly like her mom wants her to be. She never seems to say the right thing, and she'd rather spend her days at the arcade than anywhere else. At least back in California, she had friends, and her dad was only a bus ride away. But then Max's mom married Neil, and her stepbrother Billy entered the picture. Now Max and her new family live in Hawkins, Indiana. Her stepdad calls her Maxine. Billy is out of control, and her mom can't change things. Max keeps thinking she's found friends to replace the one she left in California, but they all put up walls as soon as they start to feel vulnerable. That is until Max discovers just how serious and strange things in Hawkins really are. Soon Max finds herself the newest character in a bizarre story featuring demodogs, a dangerous mind flayer, and a real-life mage. Max has to make some serious choices if she's going to save Hawkins from the darkest parts of the Upside Down. Assuming violent, crazy, out-of-control Billy doesn't get in the way first. In this Stranger Things prequel, peer inside the mind of one of your favorite characters from Season 2, revealed like never before. And if Max wasn't your favorite character in season 2, then I think that you missed out. But she definitely was the character that most caught my attention, was the most fun, and the most interesting. I love every single one of the characters, but Max has remained a favorite for me. And if you're watching season 4, if you've already watched part 1, then she's probably a favorite of yours too. So Runaway Max, great way to get a little bit more Max into your life. Then there is a second young adult novel, and this one is called Rebel Robin. And you can guess probably from the cover that this came out right after season 3. And Rebel Robin features Robin, played by the amazing Maya Hawke, who has done such a great job. And as you can guess as well, this one's going to give us some background into into Robin's life. So it's sort of a prequel to season 3. Whereas Runaway Max is a little bit of season 2 from Max's perspective, Rebel Robin is a little bit more of a prequel to season 3, and to Robin's life. So here's what's on the back flap. It says, Robin Buckley has spent her whole life trying to fit in. Now she's going to break out. This feels like a nightmare I've had 1,000 times, running through the halls of Hawkins High School. But even in my most extreme dream scenarios, I've never had this little hair or this much makeup, and prom night has never been thrown into the mix. After all, it's not a real rebellion unless you're in trouble with authority, right? The big double doors of the gym are in sight now. From inside, I can hear the hard-driving heartbeat of a new wave hit. Is Tammy Thompson already dancing? What will she think when she sees me burst in, wild and reckless and trailed by local law enforcement? Hey, Tam, I whisper, practicing for my big moment of terrifying honesty when I show her how I've felt all year. Do you want to dance? Before I read the Inside Dust Flap, let me also say this book is by A.R. Carpetta, so I didn't mention that. So here's what the Inside Dust Flap says. High school is a monster, and it's eating everyone Robin knows. It's the beginning of sophomore year, and Robin's odd squad friends have decided this time they're going to fit in and act normal. Robin knows that game well. She's been pretending for years, hoping nobody would notice the sarcastic polyglot French horn player with a bad perm in the back of the room. But there's one aspect of her identity that she knows for sure doesn't fit with her carefully controlled image, something she's only just now realizing. Robin likes girls. How exactly is she supposed to be her true self in teeny tiny Hawkins, Indiana? Robin is convinced the only way she can experience real life is by fleeing to Europe for the summer, aka Operation Croissant. But she has no money, no permission, and no one to share the adventure with, and it'll take a heck of a lot more than that to escape Hawkins in one piece. Sprinkled with references to your favorite Stranger Things characters, this prequel chronicles one girl's realization that the only person she really needs to be accepted by is herself. So if you know the story of Robin, you know that this is definitely going to have a lot of great LGBTQ storyline and her kind of wrestling with that part of her identity, especially in the 80s, how to be herself in a world that isn't certainly not accepting of LGBTQ at the time. Now, there is a third YA novel that is on its way. It's not out yet, but it comes out very soon. So I want to take a minute and I want to talk to you about this one, which is Lucas on the Line. And judging from the picture on the front and Lucas's haircut, you can assume that this takes place in or around season 4. So because this book isn't out yet, I don't know much, but what I can share with you is the product description of the book from Amazon's website, okay? So this book says, dive into this revealing portrait of Stranger Things fan favorite Lucas Sinclair and get to know Lucas like never before. The thrilling adventure of Stranger Things continues where season 3 left off, with fan favorite Lucas Sinclair finally telling his own story in his own words. Lucas has been in the fight against the evil forces in his town since the beginning, but he's tired of feeling like an outsider. When the start of high school presents Lucas with options beyond D&D and getting bullied, he wonders if he can be more than invisible. After connecting with one of the few other black students at school, Lucas starts to learn more about himself apart from his friend group, and he begins to understand himself as a black teen in Hawkins, which feels unlike anything in this world or any other he's ever experienced. From Suyi Davies, contributor to the New York Times best-selling Black Boy Joy, comes an exploration of love and identity within the beloved Stranger Things universe through the eyes of Lucas Sinclair. Now, if you've watched season 4, you definitely know, how Lucas connected with the basketball team, and probably the black individual, the other black student that it's talking about is his teammate that's in the show. So it's exciting to get to watch, read a little bit more about how Lucas gets connected to the basketball team. Definitely exciting to hear a little bit about him coming to terms with his black identity in a predominantly white school. So I'm excited about this book. I'm definitely going to buy it. Can't wait to see it. And I hope that you like it too, as well as those others. Go and pick them up.